Hello, biology students. Today we're going to be talking about macromolecules. Let's begin. What is a macromolecule? Well, the word macro means large. So the word macromolecule means a large molecule. Macromolecule is a vocab word, so I would definitely make sure you're highlighting it or putting it in a different color so it pops out at you. All macromolecules are called organic molecules. An organic molecule must contain both carbon and hydrogen. So all the things we're talking about today are considered organic. Organic is a funny word that we hear about a lot in the news. This organic is a science, biology, chemistry type organic, meaning carbon and hydrogen have to be in it. Next, let's learn the word polymer. Polymer means the following. Polymer is actually a synonym or means the same thing as a macromolecule. We'll be using the two words interchangeably. Macromolecule, polymer. Polymer, macromolecule. Same thing. Polymer starts with this prefix poly. Poly. And poly means many. So what is a polymer anyways, Miss Clausen? Well, this picture has many what? Does it have many of the same thing? Yes, it has the same kind of, hexagon-y, octagon-y looking thing, right? We could actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Pentagon shape, right? And those are actually little sugars. And this little sugar is repeating many times. We can think of this little sugar actually as a building block, and many of them together are a polymer. A polymer just means many of the same type of building block. Think of a lot of Legos put together, all right, but the same kind. Very cool. So polymer means a big molecule made of a lot of building blocks. Well, we in our society and on the planet as living things have four major types of these polymers or macromolecules that make us us. They're found in us, our food, and all living things. Let's learn these four major categories of macromolecules. Some of them will seem very familiar. The first is carbohydrates. You can abbreviate this as carbs. I bet you can recognize this picture. Yes, you're right. Bread is an example of carbs. The next one is lipids, fats. That's the types of things like butter, oil, etc. In your notes, you have a chart. Make sure you're jotting down examples. Next is proteins, right? Our meats, nuts, eggs, cheese. Then we have nucleic acids, things like DNA. And then its funny cousin over there to the left. But this is the one we're least familiar with, so we'll be learning a lot about it in our class. So all of these four major categories have different types of Legos that make them up, or building blocks. So remember we learned the word polymer? Well, it sounds a lot like this other new bolded colored word that's a vocab word called monomer. So those building blocks or Lego blocks, here they were these little pentagon sugars, those are the monomers. Mono meaning one. Think about mano a mano. We're going to bicker. Mano a mano. That's one on one. That ending is the same monomer and polymer because it still means one unit. So actually this is a sugar, glucose, which we'll learn a lot about this year. And it is repeating in here. So in this picture, which thing is the monomer and which thing is the polymer? Well, monomer means one. This is a monomer. And here we have lots of it, so that's the polymer. What could I also call this big molecule? A macromolecule, because that meant big molecule. So let's get an analogy so we can make sure we really understand this. So in our analogy, we have this really long cars on a train, all right, train cars. So each car is a monomer because they're the individual units, and the whole train is a polymer. I could also call the whole train a macromolecule. Wonderful job, guys. I'm impressed.